Zooming into Agrigento along these elevated roads in a bus was quite an experience in itself. Agrigento is on the south coast. I made my way up the hill to the cathedral to find that a meeting of the bishop and his various clerics had just finished. They all disappeared into the adjoining palace, and the cathedral was locked up. So I made my way back down these little streets to the main square. I was staying in a flat near the centre, in what would have been in England a slum, but here seemed quite a civilised, well provided for neighbourhood. The next day I took the bus, the 2-mile journey, down to the site of the Greek temples. Used to be known as Agrigento. Been there since Phoenician, Carthaginian times. Was an important Greek centre. There's the Temple of Jove, and the name of Ozymandias kept coming to mind as I saw these various ruins. Filming of these ruins was quite sparse because at this point I discovered that my battery was getting low and I hadn't brought the proper adapter to recharge the battery from the Sicilian mains electricity. If you can find out whether there is a bus to Trapani, if you can find out where it goes from, if you can find out when it leaves, the rest of the day is easy, apart from the fact of finding out where it sets off back from in Trapani. This, I am told, is the old Jewish quarter of Trapani. Trapani is not the prettiest of towns, and it seemed to be mainly closed when I was there. However, it had been an important trading port since at least Phoenician and Carthaginian times, and its importance continued throughout the Middle Ages. There seems to be a fountain donated by some local notable. The usual quota of palazzo or palazzi. That new one's Purgatorio, and goodness knows what one down there isn't sure. Probably shut anyway, like all of them. View from Maritime Station. Everything worth taking in Trapani. Right, I've just had my pasta alla Napolitana now with the Thank you. So I'm feeling slightly more amenable now. Sitting on one of these seats looking at the Mediterranean. Ah yes, and here's a hydrofoil zooming in along the harbour wall, probably from one of the nearby islands. As Trapani was at the centre of the important trade routes across the Mediterranean between North Africa and Europe. Edward I stopped here on his way home from crusade. Peter of Aragon arrived here to claim the Sicilian throne following the expulsion of the Angevins. In the next scene I am stood in the middle of a fairly large square, admittedly off the pavement, taking a picture and a hoot behind me turned out to be what must have been the only bus on the move. There he is. The only bus on the move in Trapani. These buildings are said to be very North African, or so I am told. Again, the North African influence, or Saracens as people used to call them. Just westward from the cathedral is Porto Nuovo, near which is Palazzo dei Normanni, inside which is Cappella Palatina, Roger the Norman's private chapel, described as a jewel of Arab-Norman art, built around 1140. The wooden ceiling is a good example of Arab workmanship. Another Norman construction with much Arab influence, the Norman Palace, is in the background. I was staying in a district just outside the centre, from which one could see the hills. Casa Marconi, just down there on the left. The local church was having a festival that last evening, and people from the church formed the band. And all too soon, as they say in the best films, it was time to catch the Italian Railways train at the local underground station to get back to the airport. And so we say farewell to Sicily, western half, eastern half, hopefully one day.